let's take a look at today's agenda. We've introduced powerful new features this last year, released developer tools, enhanced our learning resources, all aimed at making it faster, smarter, more efficient for merchants and developers alike. At the end, after we talk about all these things, I have a very exciting announcement about the hackathon that hopefully some of you guys will join this year. So if that all sounds good, let's go ahead and jump right in. So this last year, Miva introduced a lot of powerful updates to streamline store management, improve flexibility, enhance customer experience, all of these things. So here's a quick overview of some of the impact features that we had in this last year. Starting off with 10.09. This one had a lot of really big updates, some of the biggest in our history. Not only that, some of the most long-awaited ones. For example, multi-domain. So if you've been around me a long time, you know that multi-domain has been a very highly requested feature. We also have collections, combination facet flex components, a new UPS T-Force freight update, search logging, which is the beginning of our merchandising updates with the ability to track and analyze customer search trends. A new Amazon Pay version 2 module that's nice and clean and faster. We have our AI content assistant, which has been a valuable tool for our merchants. And finally, a WebP image support, which was requested by our developers community to help performance enhancing on the websites. Let's highlight just a couple of those things. First, the multi-domain support. It was a highly anticipated feature enabling merchants to manage multiple storefronts from one Miva admin. While it's only a year old, we've had a lot of adaptation. It's been a learning process, and we've updated it, and it's been working really well for a lot of our merchants. Not to mention they've been able to do it really easily without a lot of developer support to get these type of things set up. But if you know any of your merchants that are in need of multi-domain, make sure you reach out to support and get more information about how to get that set up and what the options are for that type of feature. Next, we have the combination facet flex component. This component marked the first of several updates aimed at the automotive and manufacturing industry. Its initial release enabled combination facets to be put on any page of Page Builder. And then with the introduction of global flex components, My Garage features, it demonstrated that the feedback from the community can show that we can improve these type of features that we have. So it started off as a simple flex component, and now it's expanded to My Garage, and you can put it anywhere on your store. All right, so moving right along. 10.09. This one was focused on payment updates, and there was a request generated by our technical assistance center, which I'll go in a minute. But we had things like Venmo, PayPal complete payments, PayPal tracking, PayPal package tracking, Braintree 3D security update, and then finally the basket ID display. Although the basket ID display was a minor release, I wanted to bring to your attention that this update was generated directly from our forums, although I do recommend using Slack to ask for feature updates or the developer support channel. It just goes to show that feedback from our merchants and from our from developers like you get implemented, and I'll talk about the process that we have internally here in a minute that goes through that of implementing these new features. But next, let's go to our 10.10 release. 10.10 was a massive update in the Page Builder Flex component front. It included page fragments, which is a developer-focused update. It's used for modular content blocks. I was having a hard time with that one when I was trying before. We have My Garage. The My Garage feature includes a number of template-level functions that can be used to really make whatever type of garage you want, a fitness garage, a computer garage, whatever it is that you need. The functions to make that is there. If you go look at the developer docs. We also had a bunch of page builder enhancements, the inspector, markdown support, global components, accordion component, and a contact form, and then the product list component as well. One of the most underappreciated developer releases, in my opinion, was the Fragments, the page fragments release. So this modular content block functions very similar to ready theme content sections. The biggest difference is that you can assign items to these to make it even more powerful. It's already a core component in a number of page builder flex components, and it's being utilized more and more in the upcoming release. So it's really a recommended way of using it rather than using ready theme content sections. Page fragments are just so powerful. Another underutilized feature is the set of functions that I mentioned for the combination Facet application. The My Garage Flex component, it serves as a really good example of how these functions can work, right? It's just a very simple UI, but all of the functions are there to pull in this type of information. And that gives you guys the ability to create pages, custom pages for these My Garage that can control anything over the Facet selections. All right, moving right along. The next release in the 10.10 cycle was 10.10.01. It included a few notable release updates. The AWS region support. It fixed some image issues with the page builder and images, multi-domain order tracking, and it enabled. We have an update to the runtime charges API or runtime APIs to include charges, which was a request from our developer team or from our developer community. We also in 10.11 released product charges and fees module, pricing, precision pricing and weights, and then the ability to assign availability groups from all the edit screens. So let's highlight a couple things from those last releases. First and foremost, anyone who was here last year knows that precision pricing and weights was a very, very hot topic. Integrating that functionality into the software so seamlessly was a huge undertaking by our software team, and they did an amazing job. But what it comes down to is it just shows you that the conversations that we have here really do matter, and that we really are listening and we want to implement these type of things. Another example of feedback from the community is the assigning of the availability groups on the edit screen. Super simple thing. You only were able to see kind of where these availability groups were assigned within the availability group. Within the Slack channel, someone noted that. We had a discussion about it, brought it to our software team, and we implemented it in the next release. So internally, we've really refined our process for rolling out updates to Miva. We've seen a lot of great success in getting feedback from both the software users, the development community, and then translating that into actionable items for our software team to implement into the software. The result has been really impactful updates that improve the Miva experience for everybody. So I encourage you to continue to give feedback through the Slack channel or through developer support or through our technical assistance center. All that feedback is really helpful for us. All right, so moving on. Those were the major updates that we had in the past releases. So let's talk about my favorite part, how we have evolved to help our developer community. Over the past years, we really invested heavily on enhancing developer resources, expanding learning opportunities, and improving our documentation. So in this last year during Camp Miva, we announced a new developer documentation, which was really just taking all of our developer docs and putting it in a more organized and formatted structure so we can maintain it easier, which then led to the next step, which was an enhanced Miva Learn section. So with the new way the docs are done, I was able to enhance the Miva Learn section to give a really clear path for new developers on what you really need to learn when you're trying to learn Miva for the first time. And it's got things in there like snippets, guided tutorials, and it's really a great path for new developers. We've also uncovered some of those hidden features for developers in Miva. If you remember before, you always had to go to the App Store and download the LSK every time it came out to see the new one. We've now added that to GitHub and made it available for everybody to see. And not only that, to be able to have access to find those type of functions that you need to really build powerful stores. Another amazing release we had was the Postman collection. This has really helped developers get connected with the API fast and learn it and troubleshoot the things that they need to learn. So if you haven't gone to the, it's postman.com/Miva merchant, where you can check out, we have our runtime API functions there and an authenticated way to hook up to your JSON API. Finally, coming up here very soon, we will be integrating our merchant docs with Zendesk to have them organized, easier to update in the future, and just a lot better experience for our merchants, which will obviously help our developers when our merchants have questions, general questions about the software. Those type of things will be updated in a lot more efficient manner now. We've also had a recent addition. You might have seen it in the developer docs, the little blue thing down there at the bottom. I implore you to use it. It is a Bot Dojo AI chat. So through a close collaboration with the Bot Dojo team, we've integrated our documentation and our code base within the AI chat to give more direct answers to your Miva merchant questions. And through the testing that I've done and all the other people that I've talked to as well, it's been doing an amazing job. So I really please try to use it as much as you can.
Yeah, and so just to be clear, we have two little AI chatbots. So if you're just on the regular homepage and lots of other parts of the site, that's the one that reads our docs and spits stuff back. But specifically under docs.com, I think it's /developer, right?
Yes, correct. Yes.
There's a different bot. They look very similar. I think it's got a different color. Different bot, and it will help you with coding. Those are the two different things.
Yes. Okay. So what else do we have coming up? We've got I've got plans for learning right now, since we've updated the Miva Learn section for our new developers. The next plan is to have a learning path for module developers, more documentation and updated documentation for our module developers. That's the goal for this year, as we know that has lacked and is not out there. So more support on that aspect is really coming up soon as far as the developer resources updates. Okay, next we have Kiefer talking about what's coming up.
Okay, so it's traditional that we give you a sneak peek of the next big version, which is always kind of around the conference. We've made quite a lot of changes internally. We're quite time boxed in our development process now. We will always plan to have a big release just after the Camp Miva, where we'll tell you nice stuff going on in Camp Miva. We will have a big release just coming into holiday season. We'll try to get one in early November
We
before.
also have a summer one.
Yeah, good enough. And then in the middle,
Irish calendar.
and then in the middle, we'll have another kind of medium-sized release. But we've also changed internally how we work. Like, we used to be like, okay, so there's a big version coming out, can we squeeze this in? And it pushes it out a little bit. Should we get it in? Should we get it out? We always plan now to have a .01 release pretty close after a major release. And we already have stuff in 10.12.01. because we don't want to risk the 10.12, but we know it's coming and we're already pushing it out there. We also have a 10.11.05 coming out, which is a few bug fixes, but mostly a cyber source change.
CyberSource, if you or any of your clients are using CyberSource as your gateway, which there's not a lot, but it tends to be bigger clients, they're deprecating their old API. So because of their new OAuth authentication, you have to re-authenticate and switch. So don't sleep on that. We'll also be reaching out to everybody.
Yeah, there's only like 12 customers, I think. And then that's going to require an engine change. So we're actually putting some more stuff in the engine so we're ready for some more file formats. AVIF?
Yes.
AVIX?
And then the other JPEG.
And then the one that's just a JPEG.
The one that's just JPEG later.
Yeah, so that's coming down the pipe. So we've got an engine change coming out. But back to the main story. We're actually pretty organized inside in terms of releases. Like we're planning releases out, we're less in a panic, but if something breaks in a major release, we can turn it around really quite quickly. Even build Wildland modules.
I think the last one wasn't Wildland, was that right?
It was.
Was it belt? Was it tool belt or tool kit? Was it tool belt?
I don't remember. Then in terms of general road mapping process, Nick mentioned it a little bit. We have new internal processes where any little stuff that bubbles up, whether it be from support or in the forums or Rick talking to a customer or Nick hearing it from developers, for things that are kind of a no-brainer that aren't going to get in the way, we have a process internally that we can document them, pass it for discussion to development. at a rate of some a week, and they get put into these upcoming releases. So we're doing much better at doing these little things that are kind of a little fix here and there. Now, on the bigger things like Facebook Meta API conversion stuff, on these bigger things, these are noteworthy. We are hearing them; they are all bubbling up. What typically happens is, we might make a strategic decision to do something, or we might make a strategic decision to put certain things in a bucket and then deal with them all at the same time, like we did with Page Builder last year, where we just took a whole bunch of feedback and we waited until it was the right time to do it all at once. So we are listening. We have an internal roadmap. We don't share our internal roadmap, but we're constantly looking at that in ways that we can keep our current customer base happy, keep you guys happy, and support new markets that are strategically important. Now on 10.12, ta-da, there's a lot in 10.12. Like there's a lot in 10.12. I'm gonna go through it. We'll go through this in a lot more detail tomorrow. But first of all, so we used to be we're still a really complex product, but we also have these simple parts like Page Builder, and we've hidden the simple stuff deep down in the complicated stuff, which is kind of dumb. So we fixed that. Yeah. So we fixed that. Now for the average merchant who's logging into the admin, there's kind of for content, it's now Page Builder and then Advanced, where we're putting all the stuff that was typically how we did things the harder way. So that's a nice cleanup for the marketer persona. For the marketing persona and the design persona, we always believe when we build Page Builder that we should be opinionated about how things look. Like a marketer should not go into a page and just like blank page, create buttons, red one here, green one here, purple one here. Like we always had an opinion. So as you've gone to Flex Components, you've always been able to click heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. What we didn't do up till this point is make it easy for a design persona to come in and define an entire style guide at the top of the application that can then be inherited down into every Flex component and even use the CSS and template code. So that is Theme Builder, Theme Editor. Let's go with Theme Editor. That is Theme Editor. So at the top of the application, there's integration of font management. There is building style guides for headings, typography, buttons. What else have I got in terms of pictures here? You can even do it. So there's the Page Builder like display, but the theme editor on the right. So you can either do it visually or you can do it as a style guide kind of style. You can export, you can import, so you can create an XML file of your standards and use your starting point for all your standard clients. So there's good developer support there. You can control breakpoints from, if I go back, I don't have the screen, but you can control inside the theme editor, you can say breakpoint mobile, breakpoint tablet, and then for each of these, you can define them for different tablets, different media. And then even inside Flex Components, you can override your marketer because they always want to change something, right? They can go into a button that you've defined as the normal button, and they could maybe change the edges and override a certain pattern. But if you go in at Halloween and you want all your buttons to be orange, everything else will still be inherited except for the overrides on the specific things that they changed. So it's a really well thought out. Thank you, Daniel. It's a really well thought out. It's a persona job. So we've been working for the marketer so that the marketer can come in and use this tool no code. Now we've added an element for the designer with support for developers. So
and there's going to be support for when you're creating your own Flex components, right? All of this is just properties on your Flex component where you're defining what they get the choice of doing. So you can actually create a Flex component that won't allow them to overwrite specific theme settings or something like that. If for some reason you didn't want the marketer to go in there and do that, if you're making your component like that. So it's super developer friendly as far as it goes.
What he said. Product Flex component. So that's one of the last, like everybody wants to customize their product page, right? Everybody. So now we have a Flex component for the product element. And that along with Fragments pretty much gives the marketer the power to create a point and click product page for this family versus that family versus that family, and then assign products to the appropriate template. But because of Fragments, it also gives the developer the power to do whatever they want. But we didn't want to build something as a flex component and then a developer come along on day one and say, well, also we're going to need to be able to do this. Okay, so back to template code. So the way this is architected is it can be extended. It can be extended. More details tomorrow. This is cool. So scheduled tasks are becoming more and more, we're seeing more and more scheduled tasks. We're also seeing more and more people use them for different things. Therefore, you have a scheduled task that takes 3 hours to build a feed, and you have a scheduled task that works with order flows and pushes orders or does something urgent. And the small, important, urgent things are getting tied up behind the big things. So now you by default will get 2 queues, but if you talk to us nicely, we give you more. By default, there'll be 2 queues. So when you create a scheduled task, you assign it to like your fast lane or your slow lane, so that the things that just go and work all the time, they'll just happen. But the things that are urgent and important, we can down the other queue. Also, it's not very clear here, but there's a display of what scheduled tasks are running, and there's a progress bar and all that nice stuff. So it's not just like, what's going on? Give me a Linux terminal so that I can see what's going on. So it's visible now. This also cool.
He's right.
This is really cool. So we've been using, obviously, we use MySQL. We use MySQL ever and ever. We've had text search forever and ever. It's not very sophisticated. We've added some nice stuff in, like make the code a higher priority than the name, but we've always been MySQL based. And 2 years ago, we sat down and we looked at things like search things. And, wow, we got to build Elasticsearch or something. Like we have to do something. We have to catch up, and we didn't, which is great because since then there's a whole new world. So we're going to go into. I think Rick and I are going to compete against each other in ways to explain this tomorrow. But bottom line is. This is not just asking ChatGPT, hey, what's the search results here? We're having a local, fully vector embedded, running, stored in Redis, totally secure, fast as sandwiches, fully embedded search. So
Sandwiches?
Well, I can say what fast is.
PB&J sandwich is pretty easy.
So effectively, we'll explain it more tomorrow, but in 1,536 dimensions, we are plotting what a product actually means in context, whether it's typed correctly or not, right? Like synonyms don't matter, typos don't matter, nothing matters. So if you imagine this is a field of all of your products plotted in an astonishing matrix of 1,536 dimensions, then we just use the same algorithm to take a search. Whatever that search string is, doesn't matter if it's typed correctly, it doesn't matter if it makes sense. It plots it in the same field, and the search results are the nearest things to it. And it's just, so I mean, we're all used to AI being ridiculous, right? And ChatGPT is like ChatGPT is like an auto suggest on steroids, but underneath a lot of that is this ability to create connections between things and see how they are related with all of the context. And we're going to have to talk that integral. So that's really cool. And you'll be able to switch between MySQL and this, so you'll be able to see performance. But in the tests we've done, it just knows. Say like, gift for my granny. It just knows. It'll find the best products in the store for the gift for your granny, or gift for mom's old female parents. It knows that. It knows.
Glad you're gonna try one.
It's really good.
It is actually really.
It's really good. So we have this developed, we have this test that we've been running customer data through it. It's really the foundation for so much more that we'll talk about tomorrow too, because it's the foundation of chatbots, it's the foundation for personal assistants, it's the foundation for merchandising, it's the foundation for everything, because it just knows everything about the product. Even if it's just a part number, it knows it's a part number, and it can probably guess what it's
So this isn't as exciting, but it's still pretty amazing. It's something that our developers been asking for. We're adding new runtime functions as well. A lot of wish list functions, so ability to add multiple items to the wish list, update your customer's wish list, pull your customer's wish list down. A lot of great new runtime functions that are gonna assist developers in that aspect. And why we're introducing these is because they're all integrated with our Flex components, right? So like these type of things are used in our Flex components. So when you're building your Flex components or any sort of functionality within Miva, these type of runtime functions are available for you.